On the worst line of the debate from the Democratic town hall in South Carolina, we are going to go to video 4, please.
Is there a higher power? Is there a higher intelligence? What do you believe in?
This is what I believe. Every great religion in the world, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, essentially comes down to do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. I believed it in my whole life, that we are in this together, not words. The truth is, at some level, when you hurt, when your children hurt, I hurt. I hurt. And when my kids hurt, you hurt. But I believe that what human nature is about is that everybody in this room impacts everybody else in all kinds of ways that we can't even understand. It's beyond intellect. It's a spiritual, emotional thing. So I believe that when we do the right thing, when we try to treat people with respect and dignity, when we say that that child who is hungry is my child, I think we are more human when we do that than when we say, hey, this whole world is me. I need more and more. I don't care about anybody else. That's my religion. That's what I believe in.
Okay, so now pick that not because Bernie's answer was the worst line. I love Bernie's answers. I think it's terrific, and I think it's sincere. The worst line, the reason it's chosen is because of the question itself from Chris Cuomo, which you didn't even see the whole clip, which is basically like, you've talked about your spirituality in the past when you've been asked about religion, but do you believe in God, the God of the Old Testament and God that everybody else believes in, or are you some sort of crazy atheist? Be honest, Bernie. And there is, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe there's supposed to be a religious test for public office in the United States. I don't know, I read that somewhere. Mm-hmm. And that's the point of that question, was just to needle him, to get him to admit that he doesn't believe in God. And that's why it annoys me, and that's why I chose it as the worst line.
Yeah. Is there a winning answer to that question? I mean, so if Bernie Sanders had come out and said, yeah, I'm super Jewish, right? let me tell you about how Jewish I am, right? I don't know. Is that a win for him? I don't know, right? And so his background is Jewish. In reality, he's probably atheist, right? Okay. And so he has to give an answer like this. But Cuomo thinks, like, why is that not called a gotcha question, right? I mean, I don't think there is a thing as a gotcha question. You can ask anything you like, right? But if you ask the most benign question to the Republicans, like, what newspapers do you read? That's a gotcha question, right? Where you ask a Jewish candidate who has never really been overly spiritual on the campaign trail, like, do you believe the God of the Old Testament? Okay, what do you think about Ezekiel, right? But that's not a gotcha question. So he did the best he could with it. We're all one. Let's hold hands.
Here's the thing. In the most,
you could have answered it better.
Man,
You could have said, "I'm a socialist Jew, just like Jesus."
Yeah.
Oh.
But in the Republican town hall, we forget this was sort of like a humanizing question. Like, tell me about your personal beliefs, and I can find out more about what not just policies and things like that. But the humanizing question here was the gotcha religion question, whereas in the Republican town halls, it was what's your favorite musical, what song, I hear you sing songs to your wife, and just all these things that are just, butter laid out for them. And there were none of those for either of them tonight. There were none of those questions from Chris Cuomo about, tell me how strong your bond of love is with your wife.
Yeah, when I criticized Anderson Cooper for during the Republican town halls, people were like, whoa, Cenk. Anderson Cooper was much tougher during the debates because I showed him the tape and it was indisputable. But in town halls, that's when you're super soft.
Yeah.
Remind me again where Anderson Cooper and Chris Cuomo work? Oh, right, CNN. And they were both town halls.
But there were none of those super softball questions like there were for the Republicans. Even the humanizing questions were not solved. So that's an example.
I don't think the purpose of that question was a humanizing question.
No, but it could be.
And if I were a paranoid person, which I'm not fully, I would say that's the clearest evidence you have that Cuomo's being led by the nose by the Clinton campaign, because in South Carolina to come out and say, I do not believe in God, will cost you votes in a Democratic primary. It simply will cost you votes. And the people who listen to that nuanced answer were saying, why doesn't he just say he believes in God?
No, I know, but
why does God dance around it like that?
Right, but let's go further than that. Let's be honest about it. In South Carolina, saying I'm an atheist or I'm a Jew is going to cost you votes. right? Now, there's this whole thing about no, everybody's pro-Israel and everybody loves Jews in the country, except there are more hate crimes against Jews than there are against Muslims or anyone else in the country, right? So there's a lot of Ted Nugent recently with a stupid conspiratorial Israeli flag thing. It's South Carolina. There is no good answer. Like whoever came up with that question smirked as they wrote the question because they thought, we got him. There's no good answer here.
What I mean about it being a humanizing question is it's not a question about policy or what you're going to do. When it's one of those questions about what your personal beliefs are and something about you, so the audience and the people at home can learn more about you. But it turns out the thumb is totally on the scale, and it's a no-win scenario for him. And so whereas with Ted Cruz finding out about how he sings to his wife these terrible songs, if it were possible to humanize Ted Cruz, that would have been the effort. Of course, since he is some sort of reanimated corpse of some sort, vampire, it's impossible. But in theory, that kind of question would have humanized him. Bernie, he's just set up to fail, and there's no way he can win. So that's why I chose it as the worst.
What do you like to listen to on the radio when you're done eating babies? I mean, that kind of question.
Wait, Wes is on like a baby eating kick today.
That's the number one thing. If you're going to be the president, you have to be willing to eat a baby because you're going to kill a lot of people's children as the president of the United States in some country. You're going to.